Thank you, Jen. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in Lisbon for Web Summit. Guys, thank you so much for staying here. We have here people from Brazil, Maryland, Spain, so it's a pleasure to be here for make this conversation. Before we start our important conversation, I have a very simple question. What do you think when you think about influence? It's about 1 million followers, strategies, business. Here, is our opportunity to break some stereotypes for influence. So, for start this conversation, Tiffany, please, give me some insights when we think about your experience. When you talk about influence, it's about followers, it's about big numbers or not? It's about another thing.
So, hello everyone. Great question. I think many people do think it's about the number of followers, but as my channel has grown, I've realized it's more about the connection. Just a quick story. So first, does anyone here follow the Speak English with Tiffany YouTube channel? Anyone? Okay, I see a few hands. So there's something that I started doing on my YouTube channel. So I teach English, for those that are curious. I teach English to English learners around the world. And I teach the lessons. And one day I randomly started singing a song. Now, I used to teach in South Korea, and I was known as the singing teacher. But on YouTube, I had never sang a song. But this one time I sang a song, and that was about 3 years ago. And now every time I do a video, at the end of my lessons, I sing a song. So the song is Story Time. Hey, I said it's story time. And then I tell a story about my personal life. And what I realized was that even though I was teaching English, those watching my YouTube videos wanted to connect with me. They wanted to learn more about me. So for those that have YouTube channels, remember, people want you. Figure out what makes you unique. If you like to sing like me, sing a song. If you like to tell stories, tell a story. But whatever makes you unique, do that. And that's when you form you got engaged with your audience and you form relationships with them.
I love. People want you. The most important than followers or audience is connect.
Exactly.
I love that, first of all.
Exactly.
Sergio, it's important. The number of followers matter in our business.
It matters, but just up to some point. From my point of view and from my experience, if you have a huge number of followers, but they don't pay you, you have a trouble. You have a big trouble because you receive more emails, they stop you in the street, they give you a lot of work. It happened to me when I started. I received hundreds literally of emails, but I didn't have time to prepare new product to sell to these people. So I had a lot of unpaid jobs. So it matters because when I started creating new products, I started selling them to my followers. But in the very beginning, when I didn't have a product, it caused troubles that I could have avoided.
Mm-hmm. JP, now your point of view as a CEO, you in Brazil and your team building a very, very big platform when you think about the strategy for influencers and education. How do you think about, we are talking about here not just about influence or followers, but about the strategy, about community. What do you think about?
Yeah, I think you guys were mentioning about the number of followers. I think it's important, but it's really not like the best predictor of monetization potential, so to speak. So there are other things that actually matter a lot, and we've seen that over and over, looking at Hotmart numbers. People with 50,000 followers selling maybe millions on the first year, they actually start building a revenue strategy against like maybe people with 500,000 followers that are still struggling to monetize or are only living from getting gifts from brands. In Brazil, we call recebidos. Does anyone know what recebidos is here?
Did it.
Okay, a lot of people. You don't want that, okay?
Yeah.
You value more than that. So I would say that the interest of the audience into going deeper in the content is a much better predictor. And also purchasing power of the audience actually matters a lot for monetization potential. And obviously, which revenue strategy you actually implement on your business will make a lot of difference. If you're just trying to monetize on the native tools that social media offers, it's going to be very limited monetization potential.
Guys, we are talking about two groups of people. Okay, the roots and the big influence. Okay, the millions of followers. And the other side, we are talking about everybody. So how we can start our strategy. Our content is good. You have some relation with your community. So Tiffany, how can I start for the people who want me?
How do you know that they actually want your information?
Yes.
So many times, again, I'll speak from the YouTube perspective. You start reading your comments under your videos. You'll know which content your customers, your audience really enjoys. And as you read through the comments, you'll also figure out ways to give them that content in different forms. For example, I started with YouTube, but I realized my students wanted more vocabulary. They also wanted more English fluency tips. They wanted more daily lessons. So on my YouTube channel, I only post on Sundays, but they wanted more lessons. So figuring out a way to meet the needs of your audience, and there are so many different platforms. We're here at this tech conference, and there are so many different tech companies that offer platforms we can use. For example, Hotmart, Teachable, having an app. So figuring out first what your audience really wants, what they're resonating with, the content they're resonating with, and then which platforms you can use to give them more of that content in different ways. The third thing is also knowing your audience well. So my audience, some of them come from backgrounds where they don't have a lot of money, while other students have a lot of money. So I had to present them with different options. So if you can only afford this amount, here's an app for you. It's a lower price. But for those that had more money, here's the membership. That's going to cost a little bit higher, but they can also use. So content is the key, but also finding platforms where you can give them the content and charge them for it.
Content is the king, okay? Community is very important, but we have the platform. So, Sergio, when you're looking for the platform, doesn't matter what, how platform, but we have here very complex words, algorithm, where we can work for understand the algorithm, but not we need freedom. We need just create our strategy from the algorithm, but we need freedom. How we can understand the algorithm, but became a freedom our strategy?
I never paid any attention to algorithm. I don't want to be arrogant, but I give a shit about them. I only pay attention to people. If you pay attention to people, people will love you. If you pay attention to algorithm will love you, but algorithm doesn't buy at the moment or don't buy at the moment. So what I mean is that when I started my YouTube channel, I said, what I would have liked find if I were like me, like a person, like Sergio. And I thought, I would have liked to find personal development videos, professional development videos, long videos, because everyone says, no, the algorithm love the short videos. I don't mind. Me as a person, Sergio, I love long videos because that gives me good content. So I started producing these long videos, and everyone told me, you are not going to do anything. No one will see like 2 hours of video. And I said, I don't mind the algorithm. I love people. And me as a person, I like to treat people like if they were smart, because they are. So what I think is that we have to pay attention to people. And how do we know what people want? Because it's what you wanted before you started your business. And sometimes we forget about it. And the other thing which I think is important is to find out some ways to squeeze the emails from the networks. Because it doesn't matter the algorithm. Because if you have the email from people, you can create a community around your business. I know the ego tells you, you have to pay attention to algorithm, you have to pay attention to what everyone says, like they say that you have to be a nice guy, you cannot say some words, you cannot say whatever is politically incorrect. And I say, I like to treat people like if they were smart, because they are. And at the end, well, I have to say that for 1 or 2 years, anybody watched my videos. I counted the visitors of my videos, and I said, I think I have more friends and family. But after a couple of years, suddenly, like magically, it started to grow up. And it didn't stop.
I use the word freedom here. It's very important to think about freedom. Because, for example, in the Instagram, I have 5,000 followers. It's nothing if you compare. But these followers not my followers. the information about these followers is from Instagram. This is very important. The platform is important. The tools, the platforms is important for our strategy, but the platform is not our strategy. You need to look for all the subjects in this question here. And JP, when you're looking for the Hotmart ecosystem, how you can bring some examples for us to create content, to connect with the community, and another opportunities?
Yeah, definitely. Just want to get to piggyback a little on the past question, because I think you mentioned something really important about not like putting all tokens in one social media platform, because in the end, the main customer of the social media platform is really not the creator, it's the viewer. So everything is optimized for more views and more watch time. And then the second most important customer are actually the advertisers who are paying the platform. And then creators are the third at best on that priority because they're like the vehicle. But everything is optimized for watch time and view. So that's why algorithms play a big role on this and can actually make the creator business very unstable if you're only trusting on that, because algorithm will change and optimize always for viewer and depending on viewer behavior. So what you do with that is you have to kind of understand that there's like the audience platforms and there are the business platforms. So when you're thinking about building a business as a creator, you should always be thinking like, how am I going to convert viewer and followers into customers? And you don't want that on the same platform because they have completely different natures. And I'm not even saying that it's wrong or bad that the social media platform will optimize for the viewer. I'm just saying it's a different incentive. And if you just trust, and if you're the creator and you trust the platform to also run your business, you may end up in very bad terms because things will change a lot. But when you convert your viewers and your followers into a place where you can fully contact them, communicate with them, you have all the data, you can create products and market other things on your portfolio directly to the customers, then you have a business. And then if the algorithm change, if there's a new thing, like today it's Instagram, then it's TikTok, then it's the next big thing on, I don't know, next year, then you have your business here. And you can benefit from all the audience platforms and still build a very solid foundation for your business.
Yeah. Transform view in audience and followers in clients.
Yeah.
This is very important because we are talking here not just about content or not just about become famous, but create our and convert our content in business. This is very important. Yeah. Sergio, another question is, when we talk about influence, we think a lot about digital, just digital platforms, but we can go beyond this. We can create events or another forms to create relationship with our communities, okay?
I used to do it. I'm doing less with the time, but I did a lot. And what I've checked, I know with the time, I'm ordering my ideas. What I know now is that people don't pay for content, they pay for communities. They don't want you to give them content. They want you to prepare a community, to prepare a space where they can share with equals. It's like, it seems that we are all with people all the day, but at the end of the day, what I've seen is that people feel loneliness. So they want to share their life with people that share the same values. And when you have a brand, as I think we have in my company, with a very strong values, people get like attracted, get glued to these values. So when they go to an event, they see people that, because we smell that. It's like you are with a person and you say, this guy have the same values than I have. So the events are a good part to get this community together. And at the end of the day, what I've seen in my life is that people pay more for this community than for the content. Because at the end of the day, the contents are free. Like, I mean, it's like you need a lot of time to put them in order, but one guy with enough time and with enough with enough time, basically, they can get the content for free. So our job is to order those contents and to create community around these basic and strong values. And the brands, we cannot forget never these values. This is something that we are like a religion. It's like those are our values and we follow them.
What is the challenge and the opportunity when you're looking for your community and to transform this digital community in a physical community?
I like that Sergio brought up community because that's something that happened for me as well. I had started the membership, and initially I didn't have the community feature attached to my membership. It was just them paying per month, and they were kind of on their own. The moment I added a community feature, and I use a program called Telegram, an app called Telegram, and it's a private community. Once they come into the membership, they get access to this private community. That right there changed the students' experiences because they started to tell me, they would send me private messages saying, Tiffany, I love your content, but the fact that I can practice with another English learner, and not just practice, but develop a relationships. There have been so many relationships that have come out of the community. People have become best friends. I've had students travel to different countries to visit them in person, and I've watched them transform. So when you are reaching people and serving them content, and then you connect them with other people that are watching your content, they start to form a bond, and they connect you to that bond. Like, I met this person because of Tiffany, because of Sergio, because of JP, and you become the person that is at the heart of their life experience. So having a community as a part of your product, whatever it might be, is really going to transform your business because people fall in love not just with your product, but with the community you've allowed them to become a part of.
JP, Hotmart has a lot of examples, influence creators who put this community in big events, included in Brazil. Hotmart has a fire festival like this. So how we can learn what is dynamic when I bring my digital community for the physical world?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting because Tiffany was saying this, but when you put a product out there, maybe a knowledge product or anything like that, people engage into the product and eventually they will come for more products, but they're really going to stay connected with you if you have a community. And when we bring like digital communities into the physical world, it just creates a very different type of bonding between those people, and the connection is just much, much harder. That's why we've been since 2015 trying to gather all our users in one big conference in Brazil so we can really connect better and make them connect with each other. Because we work with creators and creators who are building businesses, so they're entrepreneurs. And it's really nice if they can actually connect with people who are doing similar things than they are, because they're just facing the same challenges. And when they go to a conference and they see what is the other person going through right now, what are their successes, what are their failures, it's just much better for everyone to learn together. So I think that's like the great side effect that community has among users, because they just learn with each other, create bonding with the brand and with each other, which means that it's a more lasting relationship than anything else you can bring.
Sergio, now for looking for the future, what is the challenge for keeping this community engagement, this community present in your content, in your day? I think it's when we became important for a community, we have another challenge, keep this relationship. What's the big challenge here?
From our point of view, is the never-ending learning. It's like if you can create this this willingness of having learning, like I want to learn, like if one of your values is like we, the people we are here, we want to learn, at the end you create a community. And this may sound that simple, very simple, but at the end this is the key. Because if you can create a value which is we will never stop learning, all these people will share conversations, will share the discoveries, will share the willingness for new knowledge, and they will carry on being together around this knowledge, new knowledge that they incorporate to their lives.
I love the be yourself or connect to your audience. When we can scale our content, our platforms, what is the challenge to become this? Be yourself, the source of our community, of our interest.
So what I've noticed is, as time has gone on, the more I am myself, the larger my community gets, and the happier my community gets, the happier their audience is. So the one thing I would say is, as each one here is building their audience, Be your authentic self.
Yeah.
Bring out as much of yourself as possible. And many times it's challenging because we're looking at a camera lens. We're not really looking at people in real time. But if you can see that camera lens as one person on the opposite side and truly be who you are, that's the best thing you can do moving forward. Whatever things you enjoy doing, again, I mentioned earlier, I like singing, I like telling stories. More and more I'm letting myself come out, and as creators, if we continue to do that, our communities will get stronger and people will connect to us even more. And I wanted to add on to what Sergio was saying as well, moving forward, how to continue, I guess, making it stronger, is always stay in connection with your audience. Many times as creators, you get larger, your channel grows, or if you're on Instagram, or if you're on YouTube, that doesn't mean you stop listening to your audience. Your audience, the ones you're serving, they are always going to be the most important. It doesn't matter if your business is making millions of dollars. If you focus on people and serving them, you will always continue to grow. So never forgetting that your audience, they are your focus, serving them, reaching their needs, meeting their needs. So consistently asking them, hey, what do you need? So that's the most important, being yourself and meeting their needs.
Everything here, it's about listening to your audience. Don't stop. JP, for finish, in the backstage, we're talking about generative AI, some trends, technology. How do you see the future about when we talk about technology? The opportunities for us creators to improve more our strategy.
Yeah, that's a great question. So everyone that says today that they can predict anything about the future is lying, or they really don't know what's really going to happen. So I would say there are some things that I believe it's going to be tailwinds for creator economy. Especially with our creators who run a lot of knowledge products and digital products. I think all the AI disruption is really going to incentivize people to go for retraining and education. So there's a lot of demand increase in terms of education products right now, and I think that's an opportunity for creators who are talking about any professional or technical topics on social media. The other thing that I really think is going to be a big change is that with all the translations and dubbing like simultaneously, I think that's going to create a huge opportunity for creators, because once social media is actually translating everything and dubbing everything that you produce as a creator, and you also have platforms like where you host your products like Hotmart doing the same thing, it basically means that every creator will 10x their addressable market that they have. So if you create a product to sell for Spanish-speaking people, and eventually everything that you produce and say on social media is automatically translated to Italian, Japanese, English, Thai, or whatever, it basically means that you have a much, much larger addressable market. And I think that's a big impact. In fact, it will probably impact like global commerce in a more general way. We're going to develop a lot of logistics for planetary logistics once this becomes a reality. But other than that, I also think that producing content is going to be done in a very different way. So I see a lot of creators actually moving behind the cameras, not in front of them, and actually writing content for digital reproductions to actually play it on social media. It doesn't mean that we're going to lose the personality backtrack to the creator. I think that's the most important differentiator that every creator has. And in the end, people will look for personality, not just like virtual avatars. But the way you produce content, meaning AI can really help you take a lot of that effort from the creator using these digital reproductions. I think it's a whole new world forming in front of us, and it's very, very exciting.
JP, thank you so much. Tiffany, Sergio, thank you for this conversation. And guys, don't forget, influence is not just about platforms or algorithms. It's about community, strategy, and business. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.